Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and on this episode, we'll take a look at Florida's defense versus Tennessee's offense. Last year, Florida put together a really good performance against Tennessee. They did so again in this game, as did Arkansas last week. And I think for these Tennessee teams, Milton last year, now Nico this year, that struggle to pass, that Heupel doesn't trust to pass, there is an absolute playbook out to stop them, as we discussed on the podcast leading into this game. And I'm going to show you what Florida did in this game to cause Tennessee some major problems, especially in the run game, which I think really showed us what Heupel thinks of Nico at this stage of Nico's career. All right, as always, if you like this content, sub to this channel, follow us on social media, drop us a dono where you can support our efforts to bring you more of this type of content all year long. And check out our podcast, where each week we bring you in-depth analysis, both on the post-game from the previous week's game and the prep for the upcoming game. All right, without further ado, let's pop right into the film. We'll take a look at 1st down and 10 right here. And you're going to see something that we expected Florida to utilize, something I think if you're a Tennessee fan and you're watching this, you're going to see utilized against you all year long. That's going to be, of course, the tight front. A small little adjustment here. TITE is a tight front. Little adjustment here. Normally, you're going to have your end line up inside the tackle, and you're going to see this on film as we walk through this today. Slight adjustment here from Florida to the outside, but the goal of a tight front is to have 5 players inside the tackles, denying any kind of inside run. Then you want to force the run. You want to spill the run to your overhang players, which are generally going to play both run and pass. Both run and pass. So if they wind up being a pass and they run a play action, they'll drop back and fill a lane. And if it winds up being a run, they come in here and they fill. So the goal is to deny anything inside and spill this to the outside. Again, Florida used this to great effect last year against Tennessee. They did it again this year. And right out of the gate on the first play, we're going to see just that. Tennessee's going to come out. Florida getting to play just a 6-man box here, right? 5 in here, but really just 6. And then on top, another conflict defender is playing both run and pass, but he's able to pile on quickly enough to essentially have 7 run defenders with 4 pass defenders behind. And again, a flex defender here making it 6. So you can imagine that you can either be 5 in the run game, 7 back, or you can flex those 2 forward and be 7 in the run game, 4 back. So if you're getting the tendency right, if you're reading the play correctly, it gives you a nice way to always be with the numbers. That is the goal of the tight front, while resting assured that you don't have to worry about the center of the field because you're going to plug that up with your 5 guys here. So Tennessee comes out, handoff here. Nope, play fake, right? Smart call by Tennessee. Hey, we know that Florida had success last year stopping our run game. Let's come out and establish our passing plays early, especially with a matchup that we like. Here's Jordan Castell, Florida safety, who's not been showing out on film this year. Matched up in the slot, a matchup Tennessee has to favor here. In this scenario, roll out right, easy, wide open out route here to Squirrel White. I think Florida was fortunate they didn't go to this more often. As you're going to see on film, they had more opportunities as Florida safeties were playing in coverage the entire game, as we're going to see as we walk through this. And an easy start for Tennessee. Right there, wide open, tons of space, and then Castell typically doing as Castell does, kind of just shepherding the receiver from behind and saying, here you go, have the yards that you need. Again, Florida's safety play has been weak, especially at the free safety spot. They clearly don't think they have anyone else to play that spot, given that Castell's playing every single snap regardless of what happens. But again, each and every week, if I'm Castell, I've got to find a way to play better football. He is going to have a couple of decent plays in this game, but yet again, a lot of this film review is going to show that Castell's the guy they targeted, and for the most part, wasn't able to answer the bell. All right, 1st down and 10. Tennessee's got a receiver off the screen. You can't see here. They've got 8 guys here and then 2 up top. Florida, of course, is going to play aggressive against this, as they did all game long. Lining up here. Here is our tight right here, right? Our tight front with what Saban would call a mint by adding on a 6 defender in here. That's because Tennessee has an extra tight end in this formation as well. So they've got 8 here. They're a little heavier. We're going to put a 6th, and then here's your overhang defender. And again, Pyburn can also become your overhang defender in this scenario. And you even could have your safety here, Bridges, become your overhang defender as well. And you might exchange this. So lots of ways you can do this, but tight front here, a mint or a 6 in the box here because Tennessee's got 8 on 1st down and 10. And again, Florida trying to deny the run right here. And there you can see Florida's trying to spill this play, right? We want to bottle this up into the inside. And we want to get to the overhang defender. Now, Tennessee knows this, so they add on, as we saw pre-snap into the box, they add on to say, hey, we know you want to use your overhang defender to make tackles here. We know you want to do that. So we're going to come out here and block him, right? But Florida counters by saying, we know you're not going to block our backside defender. So this is going to be slow enough because we're going to gum up what you want in here. Even if you get a block here, we've got a safety who's still single high in Castell, and we have a trailer who's unblocked to counter that choice by Tennessee. And watch how well this works. Tennessee tries to run the guard tackle counter, something Florida has had problems with in the past, except overhang defenders in position. Linebackers both read this correctly. And then you're going to get a free chase here from Pyburn, who's got a high motor. He's going to seal that up before he can try to bounce outside, where Florida still has good leverage here with Denson. So on 1st down and 10, Florida passing the test early versus Tennessee's run game. When you're playing Tennessee and their wide splits, the one thing you cannot allow them to do is to attack the middle of the field. We talked about coming into this game that Florida's going to want to wall off the inside, which every team playing Tennessee is wise to do so, and make them throw vertically on the outside. Now, if you're running Tennessee's offense, I think schematically it offers you a lot of advantages, especially in college football. But those advantages are only there if you trust your quarterback to hit the vertical throws, which, as we're going to see on this film review and as we suggested entering into this game, they do not trust the $8 million man here in Nico, and you're going to see this all over this film review. On this particular play, though, Florida is not going to do what they want to do. We're going to show a simulated pressure. Give him a muddy look here. What is he going to get? What are we going to give you? And then we're going to drop back. Except Shamar is going to open and locate the release of both the 1 and the 2 to see where they might be going. Whereas Pup is also going to locate the 1 and the 2 right here. But focus on Pup for now, and we'll go back to Shamar in a second. Notice what happens with how they adjust to where the route is. So you're going to see Pup right there, top of your screen. Pup only on the opening. Right here, he sees him, right? You can see his helmet. He sees the release, but he's not going to watch long enough to see where this route goes. Let's watch now Shamar instead. Roll the tape. Here's Shamar. Shamar's going to open. Now Shamar is still looking. Pup is now back to the quarterback. So he has no idea where that route is going. No idea where that route is going. Shamar's still looking. Now Shamar's got an idea. They're still vertical. They're still vertical. Peek back to the quarterback and sink into what seems to be, at this point in time, the lane, right? Now, Florida bottled this up. They owned the play they wanted to hit. Pup now has sank, and he's reading the quarterback's eyes, but had Pup checked again right here, if right here before he finishes his drop, he's checking like Shamar is checking, he's going to begin to see what happens next with Squirrel's route right here, which is that's coming in, right? He's going to see it's got depth, he's coming in, and I need to locate where he's going so I can try to better position myself as this hook defender. But at this point in time, if you're Pup, you're reading the eyes over here. You see he's looking this way. Again, you want to be checking to see, is anybody coming over my head, right? Because my job is not that side of the field. He stands flat. He's in the area, but creates a nice big window. So for perfection here for Pup, if he keeps checking that route, he's going to know it's coming here on this dig, and then he can slide accordingly, right? That's what you want. Take away the most obvious route here. This is the ball Tennessee's going to want the most. Something over the middle, lots of space they've created with the wide splits, and you're going to see him off to the races with, again, Castell coming in at the end to shepherd him to make sure, hey, man, you good? Nice catch. Want to make sure I'm right here next to you. Good work. I stayed behind you. You know, we're in good shape there. But you don't want to let Tennessee hit these middle passes. For the most part, they were totally unable to do so in this football game, and that's what's really hampering Tennessee in general, is they cannot hit the vertical passes we're going to see, and the middle passes teams are taking away. They're loading up, they're taking away, and because Tennessee is unwilling to pass the ball as often as they were with Hooker, teams are able to play more of a less man-oriented defense. In fact, Florida only played man in this game 12% of the time, where if you're playing a Hooker-led Tennessee, you might have wanted to play 50 or 60% man, right? So you can play a lot more zone. You can use these overhang defenders. It's much easier to defend Tennessee this way because they do not trust their own passing game. First high leverage play of the game here for Tennessee. 3rd down and 1. The Gators, we've seen in previous weeks, have been really walked up on these plays, right? Very, very aggressive. Here they are going to have 5 down linemen, so they are still playing an aggressive posture, but we're playing pretty safe here. right? We're staying off here. We're thinking Tennessee might take a shot. One of the benefits, again, of Tennessee's offense is they will take shots a lot in these scenarios. On 3rd down and 1, it's a good chance to take a shot. Florida's going to expect that. They're going to play a little bit safe here. And Pup is going to do a really nice job foiling this play. Although this is a self-inflicted mistake by Tennessee, in part it occurs because Pup puts himself in good position and because Florida does a nice job aggressively here at the line of scrimmage, at least denying what is going to be the running back's main desire here on this inside handoff because Pup is sliding over. So Nico says, hey, it looks like Pup stepping in. I want to pull this out here and take off on 3rd down and 1 and perhaps get a bigger play. But in reality, Pup is still in good position here. He doesn't totally commit to this run. He's in between both of them, which is perfect defense there. In between both, he could make a play if the ball's handed off. If Nico comes out, he can hopefully elongate this until he can get help from his safety or his slot defender over here, right? That's the goal of Pup. Pup does a nice job there. And then he gets a gift of a fumble, of course, on the exchange from Nico, which is a huge win for Florida. Tennessee was moving the ball right down the field. An easy turnover, a nice win from Nico, a gift there on 3rd down for the Gators. And that's going to wind up being a big play early on as, again, self-inflicted wound right there to Pup. Good separation from Pup, from both players. Good distance. He's allowed to make the play. A little Gator chomp there on the football. And with that, Tennessee's first drive, which was promising, yields no points. And of course, Coach Ham fired up, right? We still have no idea who's calling the plays. Could be Ron Roberts, could be Austin Armstrong. We know, though, through these 2 games, the defense again resembles on film way more of Austin's tactics and techniques, especially, with these 2 weeks we've seen here on film. And also, it was largely the same game plan Florida employed last year. Not that Ron Roberts couldn't do that, but I guess the biggest commentary is I can't tell you because I don't know, and Florida does not tell us, which in and of itself, again, is kind of a wild thing that we can't be transparent about who's doing what on the coaching staff. But Ham's on the sideline. He's going ham, and Florida's defense, another great shift in this game. So 2 weeks in a row now, they're putting good stuff on film. They are going to get a little bit lucky, as we're going to see on a few of these plays in this game. Second drive now for Tennessee. Here's a perfect example of how the tight front works. Again, everyone lined up inside of the tackles right here. Inside the tackles, we're going to plug up the middle. You can't go in here. Overhang defender, right? You're 2-2 here, 3 here, single up top there. That's what you got working with, right? So Florida's playing very aggressive against the run, but not so aggressive because both of these guys, if it's a play fake, can again play against the pass. And Tennessee, with the wide splits, you can't run an out route from here, and you really can't run one from here either. So the most likely routes are going to be vertical or in breaking, right? And so this is a good way to play against Tennessee. Again, Tennessee in the old days would hit you with these vertical routes, especially in here, and that would create a problem for you. It's not happening this season. Didn't really happen last season. That's creating problems for them. Florida takes advantage of this as they want to spill this to the overhang player. Nice motion there from the D-line to make sure with the motion here they don't get stuck, again, too far inside where he can then come out here and hit our overhang. Not what we want. So instead, we're going to lock up this middle. Nowhere to go here. He's trying to come account for the overhang, right? Trying to deal with this unblocked man right here in Pyburn. Same thing we've seen. Florida's going to pile on, get the numbers game right, make sure we strike these blocks, and then allow ourselves to get off and close a hole. There's Denson. Great work there by Denson against a bigger player to hold up in the run game. And 1st and 10, just a few yards there of pickup, but you can see how the tight front works in action. 2nd down and 7. Here's a good example of how Florida wants to handle motion from Tennessee. We're going to go 3-by-1 at the top. We're going to bring a motion over to go 3-by-1. Jason Marshall down here. Again, you can see Florida's aggressive posture. In this case, it looks like they have too high, right? How do we want to handle this? We're going to bring our safety over here, or we're going to do what Florida chooses to do, which is like to slide a linebacker over with this. Let's watch how this works. Shift over. There goes Jaden Robinson. And now what we're going to do is we're going to step up and take this away here. And we're going to let this run free to get to Castell. And you might be thinking, hey, let's stick a ball right in here. But what you're doing is you're playing Tennessee's tendencies that this is probably going to be some sort of in-breaking route, right? What Tennessee is hoping that you're going to do in this situation is perhaps chase with your linebacker, and then your safety, who's here, right, is either going to stay high and off of this where you have space underneath here, or, again, you could defend it like this, come in here, and then leave your linebacker in here in the run game, which is even better, right? Now you run a one-on-one slant with nobody there. But Florida's well prepared for this. You want to wall off the inside when you play Tennessee. Pause it right here. It's exactly where Nico looks. He wants this slant route, but take a look at what Jaden Robinson has done. He is walling off the slant with help over top from Castell. I'll rewind it a second so you can see just how, of course, this defense is going to work. You have Bridges here who's really going to look run first. Watch his read. He's going to read run first. We see run. If so, he's going to step in. Good quick recognition by him. It's not. Put your foot in the ground. Now check out the release of the one receiver here and help out Jason Marshall, who's running vertically to the outside. He's going to help on the inside, right? So a good scheme here from Florida. They execute the scheme very well. And now, because again, Florida's staying in between all the tackles here, we have to do our job of holding Nico, who's a good runner, in between these tackles. Pyburn, right, striking this block here, keeping control of the edge. Same thing here, keeping control of the edge. Exactly what you want to do. We've got a 5-man rush here. Let's make sure there's no escape lanes. We've seen Florida struggle with this in the past. You do not want to let a quarterback like Nico get out here. You've got to hold the edge. And we're going to do just that and pick up a holding call right there, right? So really nice work by Florida across the board on that play. Well schemed and well executed versus what they predictably were going to get from Tennessee's offense. And a holding call is going to push Tennessee back. Take a look at Brian Taylor Jr. here, the transfer from JUCO, number 33. Your job in the tight front generally is going to be a B gap player here on the edge, responsible for the B gap, the inside portion of this, because again, your overhang defenders are going to wind up taking the C gaps, right? So you got your A gap here, got your B gap, and then your C gap on the outside. So he is going to get a great read here as soon as he sees Tennessee try to run the zone blocking scheme, where they're going to step to the inside. He's going to beat him to the inside and meet the running back in the backfield. Really, really good stuff here from 33. Look at him jump into the B gap as soon as he sees the lineman going this way. Beat him to the spot, right? Beat him to the spot. Great get off on the snap, and then make the tackle right here for a TFL. So nice stuff from Florida. The tight front, again, paying dividends there. Winning to the B gap, forcing Tennessee to have to try to not be able to run inside. Do they have an answer for that? Can they run to the outside? And so far, the answer is no, they cannot. If you want a clear picture of just how much right now Heupel does not trust Nico, and I know they're on their own 5-yard line, but it doesn't matter because this is the kind of stuff that Tennessee's offense can create for you. Florida showing a sim pressure right here. Sim pressure, but I want to pause this for a second and look how Florida is defending this. We're bringing Bridges into run fit. We're motioning Castell down here. We are playing essentially, it's not actually a cover zero. We're playing a zone like we talked about because we can slide back and help out, right? But if you were to see this when Hooker was quarterback for Tennessee, they would have feasted on this. This is what they want on 3rd and 15. I mean, you beg for chances to have this kind of look. You would almost never see this against any other team that could competently pass the ball at all. Splitting you this wide, would you see a team confidently come in here on 3rd and 15 and still bet run? Still bet run when there is no help anywhere here, and you can run any combination of a double move or anything else you want with the entire field to work with. But yet Heupel is still going to elect, even though Florida is loading the line of scrimmage right here. We have 2 additional help defenders that can again pop back here to play the pass, jump down to play the run, but Florida's expecting run on 3rd and 15 and they get run. So unlike Florida's offense, Florida's defense is reading Tennessee's offense, and both teams I think are frustrated with their own offenses as this game goes along because they're allowing the other team to read their mail. Florida plugs this up and stops a 3rd and 15 run for just 1 yard. Very aggressive play by Florida, very tendency-oriented play, daring Nico and Heupel to throw into it is essentially, again, I'll rewind it for you, essentially a functional cover zero, right? There are 3 guys covering through with the entire field to go here, and Tennessee is not even interested in trying it. 3rd and 1 here for Tennessee. This formation was very successful for them. And in fact, Tennessee's heavier packages, their 12 personnel packages where there's 2 tight ends here, probably won them this football game. If you look at Florida's performance on offense with their high leverage short plays versus Tennessee's, Tennessee clearly won the day. They converted almost all of these plays, including an overtime where most of the drive was in fact in a heavy personnel package. So Tennessee, you think of them as a wide split team, which they are. They can also play power football, and they can play it pretty well. And they're going to take advantage of Florida here on some of these plays. 3rd and 1. Let's watch the action. You get 2 lead blockers going here out of shotgun. You can do a lot of things with these looks. You're just trying to get up here to the inside and pick up this first down, right? Nothing fancy, just good old-fashioned power football. Hit a gap. Let's clean it out. And this is why this is kind of nice, right? He can leave the inside man Boone to his backside tight end to create the hole here in the A gap, and we're going to come here in the B gap and clear this stuff up. So the best thing about this blocking scheme from Tennessee is you allow your two tight ends to be flexible with who they take on first. A home run play would mean he gets to come right through this gap if that's what's cleared out. But a safe play, even if you get penetration, which Boone does, is just to follow your secondary blocker here and take a linebacker on, hopefully, one-on-one, which is the matchup you want. Boone goes for it, a nice block there, and that's going to be just enough to obviously get the first down, right? If Boone could have not been shipped there, we got a win. He gets a one-on-one win early, but the second tight end does his job. That's why he designed it that way. And Tennessee, on a crucial high-leverage 3rd down and 1, down 3-0, is going to pick up the first down. 2nd and 14 now for Tennessee. Again, you don't want to let them throw the ball over the middle. It's the place they most want to go. Florida's prepared for this here. I want you to focus on Shamar. He does a nice job. He just doesn't locate the dig route coming over him in time. But I want to illustrate what it's like to be a linebacker here. I'm reading run, right? Florida, tight front again, overhang defenders, reading run. Now it's a pass. We need to scramble and get back, right? We got to drop back in our lanes. Let's watch the action. Now we know it's a pass. And here we go. Right now we were playing run, now we're back playing pass. He's going to take the flat over here. Shamar identifying the routes that are coming at him. I like that. Check. Is going to play over here, and we're hanging loose here with Gates, right? A little reroute right here. I like this. Get your hands on him, reroute, so there's no simple check down. And now we're going to pile on because the running back stayed in, right? Really good stuff here across the board for the Gators on the 2nd down and 14 call. Shamar is locating, but then not. I don't think he gets a clean look here when he's coming back with just how fast this dig route's coming over him. But I like that he did look, and I like that he's now trying to get himself back into the right window. It's good stuff on film from Shamar, even though he doesn't get that drop perfect there. He is going to be there. And then Castell, as we're going to see from a different angle, if he dives for this ball, he probably almost certainly breaks it up. Instead, chooses to go for the hit. On 2nd and 14, this ball just sneaks in there. Gets a little bit of a hit, but Tennessee's going to convert this for a first down on 2nd and 14. And let's look at the other angle here. Again, play action, right? This is why Tennessee's dangerous. Play action, fake. If they're running the ball well, they're very dangerous because you're trying to get in here and stop this, but they're not running it well. So Florida's quick to react. Not a lot of bite there from Florida's defenders. And now if you're Shamar, you quickly, again, want to locate where is this coming, but he does not see this route here. I don't think he even sees it at all, right? I think he identifies instead the other route that is not going there, because if he does see this route, he's going to be dropping more on this angle, right? Which he doesn't. And now he recognizes he needs to get over there because he sees the quarterback's eyes looking. And this is going to be what Tennessee wants. Again, throwing into windows, into space, getting yards for catch, except for Nico. He's got Castell, who's also reading this from the backside and closing in as the free safety. And if you're Castell right here, I feel like you got to lay out for that, right? You got to be selling out for this ball. Instead, right here, he's looking at the ball. Then he decides to go for the hit. Things are happening split second. Doesn't really get much of a hit here. If you're going to go for the hit, you got to basically blow this guy up. And, gets a nice hit on him, but nothing to separate there. But again, I think we get so close, a full-out dive might have done the trick here. But either way, bang, bang play. Nico fits it in, right? Dangerous throw. Florida's on this. Florida's covering the middle. They're on it. He squeezes that in there. I think as a DC, you'll live with that and say we're right there. If he keeps doing that, we're going to get an interception. Tennessee driving now 1st and 10. This is one of those plays where TV is going to deny you what happens, but Jason Marshall is off your screen, and he's going to lock up another in-breaking route that Tennessee wants over here, and that is going to lead to a coverage sack for the Gators. Again, tight front, 2 overhang players. By now you should be identifying this. 2 overhang players, tight front right here. Florida going to deny the inside run on 1st down and 10 and spill to the overhangs. Tennessee's going to try to go with a pass here, play action. You can see quickly Pyburn reads this well. He's going to stay in this little route here. Nico's going to look this way. He's not trying to go there. He's trying to come down here and clear out this overhang defender, right? Don't have him drop in the window. Get him out of the way so he can make his throw to where he wants to make it, which is right there. Now he's on his first read. He's ready. It's not there. Doesn't love it. And this is where Nico, I think, struggles. Lagway, for a freshman we've talked about, does a nice job of keeping his eyes downfield. But you're going to see Nico's eyes right now are no longer really downfield. He's already become truly a runner. He's lost pocket presence already. He's now looking at the oncoming rush, and he has no idea what's happening down the field in front of him. He's just running to escape. And the Gators with really, really good pocket discipline, something that is much improved in the past 2 weeks for Florida. Staying in their lanes, working together, right? You want to work together as a defensive line and a linebacking crew, whether it's 4 or 3 or 7 or 6. Make sure you stay in your lanes, funnel, and team tackle, which they do right there on Nico. It's going to be the first sack right there. Again, Jaden Robinson popping off in this one, 4-star sophomore. Having a nice game. He's going to show up all over this film. He led Florida in tackles. But excellent work there by Florida. Caleb Banks, of course, in the backfield as he is on most games. But coverage sack there first. And then Nico immediately pulls his eyes down low, looks at the rush, and takes a sack. What's even better than taking away one read is taking away all of the reads that Nico wants on the 2nd and 15 down. Right there, open up on the right side. Again, Florida's stacked here by alignment. We talked about this in the podcast as well. You want to press align Tennessee to the outside generally, and then you want to align off on the inside. Simple reasons for this. If you run a slant here, you're already playing at a natural level, where if they try to quick slant this and you're looking like he is here, you can actually come up by design and just read this on your own, right? That's an option for you. But by playing with levels, you're going to eliminate any kind of rub that Tennessee may want to run, and you keep your slot defender on top of the ball and by alignment defending in breaking routes. So Nico's going to check that, not there, check that, not there, come back around here. Also not here. Gates doing a nice job staying on inside leverage here on Squirrel White. That's not there, right? I mean, you might be able to fit that in there, but it's not like he's wide open. And so Florida's denied this, and now Nico does what Nico does. Again, for $2 million a year, $8 million total, it's pretty tough to get a guy out of high school without seeing him play at this level and then find out that perhaps he's not suited for it, at least not on film yet. He's already eyes down, no longer looking at the field anymore, trying to make a move. And again, as a quarterback, you need to escape the pocket, but you want to do so while not pulling your eyes down. Nico pulls his eyes down too quickly. It causes him to lose what's happening on the field. And again, I think here, this throw to Squirrel White might not be the one that he wants to make, but he has a shot here on 2nd and 15. You got to deliver this ball. He doesn't. Instead, right here, when he's about to, he's like, I'm getting pressure here from Sapp. I'm going to run away. I want to use my legs. He's more comfortable doing that. He's not first a thrower. I think he's really first an escape artist if the first read or two is not there. And Sapp does a really, really good job to make this one-on-one tackle on a slippery quarterback there with Nico. That's an excellent piece of work there from Sapp. And that's going to lead to a 2nd straight sack for the Gators. 3rd and 26, everything you want when you're playing defense, especially on the road. Florida's going to play this safe, right? We've got 6 defenders here covering 4 in the spread formation. Going to put 5 here in the box still. We could put another one back here if we wanted to, but we're going to put 5 in the box still, knowing Tennessee might just want to run this to try to get in field goal range. I like this aggressive posture from Florida. And then we're going to run a twist. We're going to run a twist right here, twist this up, and that is going to pay dividends on this play. Here it comes. There's your twist. We're going to get right through. Free runner now, even though we're only rushing 4. He's responsible for the running back. He's not rushing. Only rushing 4. We get home quickly. Nico tries to evade. And then again, how beautiful is that, right? Work as a unit. All 5 work as one. There's Jaden Robinson again in on the play. But this is good stuff. You want to work as a unit. It's exactly what Florida does, even though they do not get the tackle on the pressure by Boone. Right here, he's not going to make this tackle. He's going to move him in the pocket. Now we're going to get help here. Cameron James. Now we're pursuing. And then by alignment, we've got Jaden Robinson right there on 3rd and 26, making the tackle alongside his teammate. So really, really good stuff from Florida. 3 straight sacks on that drive. You'll love to see it. Tennessee's offensive structure can put a lot of pressure on the defense. And again, this is a poor man's version right now. The quarterback not hitting on all cylinders. And here's one main reason why we know they like to run a lot of in-breaking routes, right? Well, their slot receivers are extremely fast, and they're generally going to be a matchup nightmare for a safety. Florida's been using a safety to cover all of the slot receivers on every play, and Tennessee thus far has only hit a couple of out routes on them and a few of these in-breaking balls, but nothing vertical, nothing like when Tennessee's offense is really working. Well, here's the reason why. Teams know that Nico is having such little success throwing vertically, they're willing to overplay these balls and be exposed to these deeper shots because Tennessee is missing them. They're going to miss one right here on 1st down and 10. It's going to be a layup touchdown here for Nico. You can't miss this one. You just can't miss this one. If you're Nico for the Gators, of course, You love it, but you're getting one-on-one here, Squirrel White versus Thornton, a matchup you would pay money for if you're Tennessee. It's everything you want. They've had a lot of it. They haven't chosen to go for it. We're going to go for it here. We're going to move the pocket. We're going to try to make this as easy for Nico as possible, right? That's what Tennessee's doing here. They don't need to move the pocket here, but they're going to move the pocket. In large part to just make sure that he's comfortable because they know he's not. Set him up over here, give him time, let him launch a wide open ball for what should be a touchdown. And I think pre-snap, they're feeling pretty good about this play. And then there goes Squirrel right off to the races. Thornton on the end behind him, not going to recover. Castell, who's playing off and high, is not going to get behind him. And again, I mean, this is a dream, right? Look at this. As a quarterback, you can't get anything better than what you have right here if you're Tennessee. It's what you want to see on film. It's what we don't see on film enough from Florida's offense, actually open receivers. And if I'm doing this as Tennessee this year, I'm frustrated with what Heupel's doing, calling plays for Tennessee, as they should be doing this 20 times in a row. And if Nico even hits just a quarter of them, they're going to score more points than what they're doing now, but they're loaned to do so. So Castell, normally on top, making sure everything's in front of him, kind of watching the guy catch the ball, is not. He's burnt. He did not pick this up, even though he's supposed to pick that up, running right through his zone. And Thornton is, I mean, that's nowhere near it, right? He's the underneath defender here. He's passing this off to Castell, at least I suspect. And both guys are just absolutely toasted. It's going to be a walk-in touchdown. Castell already either is injured. It almost looks like he's just given up. He's not going to catch that. Look at him. You kind of see his body language already slowing up. It's like, this is it. Probably not going to get here for this one, right? But thankfully, Nico does what Nico's been doing, and he overshoots this ball with a receiver who is just so open. I mean, look at how open Squirrel White is, right? There's a million places you could throw this ball, and he just can't get there. It's a sure 6-point play. Doesn't work out. Florida dodges a major bullet there. Major bullet there. And we can get the all-22 look for exactly what went wrong. There's your play. Set the pocket. Slant route turning into a slant and go. Castell looking in the backfield. That's why they rolled him out, right? 1, give him safety. 2, it gives a safety eye candy. Castell's got to be reading. He's vertical for all these things. Any receiver that might enter in there, he can't just be staring at the quarterback. He needs to be looking at the receivers coming into the zone. And he doesn't see this pretty much at all until he sees Nico open up to load up and says, uh-oh, I've lost track of who's actually over here. And lost track, indeed, he has. He is toasted as a walk-in tutty. And thankfully, instead, it's that. And that has largely been the story of Tennessee versus the quality teams they played this year. They are running the ball 65% of the time, despite the fact that teams are largely employing a similar strategy to Florida, where they're getting slots versus safeties, and is not working out for them. Tennessee going to try it at Florida with a guard tackle counter coming over here. Going to get some really nice work from Banks. Banks right here, and then Cam Jackson right here. Excellent work on the interior part of the defensive line here. Here's your overhang defender that they're trying to hit. Gates with this GT counter. You love to have your left guard going against Gates, and undersized, right? Not a defensive lineman. He's your overhang defender playing a linebacker or a slot nickel in this case. It's a matchup you want to hit. And that's what you're looking for if you're Tennessee. But Florida is going to handle this so much better than they have in the past. First of all, we get a huge win right off the snap from Banks. So we blow up the center. That's a great way to take advantage of this play. Blow up the center right away. And then on top of that, we're already down low with our overhang defender. Hold line of scrimmage here. We got to take on this block as much as we can. And then we need our linebackers to get home. Here comes freshman Miles Graham. He's going to come flying through here, right? Fly through here. Perfect. Get right up in here. Let's make a play and then blow that up. That's a nice equalization there. Again, coming across, look at him. That's going to be your left, right? It's going to be your left tackle, one-on-one in the hole, and he is not going to get blown up. He's going to hold his ground there, which is a win. We've won here with Gates, right? We've won against the guard. So 2 undersized players have won against both the tackle and the guard, and we've gotten penetration from our D tackles, and we have blown up this counterplay, right? You have to win at the line of scrimmage. Nick Saban always talks about the SEC and any high-level football team having to be a line of scrimmage league. You have to be a line of scrimmage team, and Florida wins the battle on that play right there. 3rd and 7, we're going to see another advantage here of Tennessee's offense in this look because of their wide splits. Florida's not going to be able to help each other, right? Normally, if you're going to run a pretty standard spread, a little 2x2 here, but you're in tighter, you're more normal, right? Then Florida can do a lot underneath here. Linebackers getting in the way. You can start with 2 high. You can rotate anything you want, but they can't afford to do that because they're too far away, right? These splits are too far away for your defenders to be able to help or even get out here. You can't get out there in time. So you're largely leaving these guys operating one-on-one. And you can, of course, have your free safety help on one side or the other. Here can be your run fit defender. But you still have to commit to the run as well because these splits are so wide. If you choose to put a safety over here and a safety over here over the ball, then you're outmanned here in the box, as we've been covering. So Florida on 3rd and 7. Going to show pressure up front. Tennessee, going to go to the sideline. Hypo wants to get a look. What do I have here? Let's march the tight end out over. Perfect. All right, now we're in a true spread look. Putting the safety in conflict right here. Does he want to declare pre-snap where he wants to go? Is he going to help here? Is he going to help here? What am I looking with? I want to take a shot. Castell's still true middle of the field, which now tells you that he's not going to be able to get to any vertical route you take over here, right? Take your best matchup. Let's go for a home run on our best matchup, which Tennessee deems to be the slot Nimrod versus Gates. Nimrod tremendously fast. He's going to cook Gates, top of your screen right there. Nico's just waiting for it. This is exactly what Nico wants to go. It's a primary read. He's looking to the right just for a second to try to move the safety. It's too fast to accomplish that. If you go back to the Kyle Trask days on this channel, you know that you want to actually glue this look for a little longer. You don't need to look this early. This is way too early. You don't need to see this right now. You want to glue this a little bit longer just to move him even more out of the way, right? If you're Nico, either way, snaps right here. And now with Nico, you're bouncing on your feet, bouncing on your feet, bouncing on your feet, bouncing on your feet. Timing looks a little bit random, I would say, on this throw. Lets it go. And this ball is nowhere close. Again, for $2 million a year, this is what this buys you right there. A ball that is nowhere near your receiver, who has absolutely cooked Gates. I mean, he's completely gone. It's another touchdown for Tennessee that is all for naught. And again, if you're Florida or you're any team playing Tennessee, you live with this until Tennessee can prove that they can actually complete these passes, which so far they have been unable to do so. Again, it can't get much easier than this. Absolutely cooked right from the beginning. Gates has no shot. Castell has no shot. Not fast enough. Nobody can run with him. Curiously, Tennessee only tried this a couple of times. Again, to me, very, very curious play calling in Tennessee. Even if you're missing like this, you might as well keep taking these shots. There's almost no risk when you're getting guys this open. But thankfully for Florida, they are not hitting them. 4th and 1 on their own 9-yard line. This play, I think, is one Hypo wants back. I think he lost control here. I think the bubbled over frustration from the Arkansas game into this one had him at just peak tilt. No reason to go for this. 2:28 left. I mean, you're basically dooming yourself to be down at least 6-0, probably 10-0, with tons of momentum going against you. Where if you pick this up, the expected value of you scoring points is still really low. So this is an asymmetric risk reward in the wrong way. For Florida, it's a big opportunity. And unlike the past, again, like last game, we saw this, but previous to that, we didn't. Florida is playing aggressively here, right? We have 9 guys on line of scrimmage on 4th down and 1. We are here. We are ready. Look at that. We are buckled up in here. And now we bring a 10th down in the box, right? Florida playing this very aggressively, trying very seriously to get the stop here. When the ball is snapped, you've got everyone in this tiny little booth, all 11 players for Tennessee, 10 for Florida, 1 guy off safe, which makes sense in this scenario. Can we get a stop on 4th and 1? And the answer is we cannot. Notice the formation Tennessee is going to employ. Again, going to come with a 2 tight end heavy package and basically going to run an I formation with a fullback being a tight end right here. Come downhill, some old school power football. Again, for a wide split team, they run some old school power, hitch in the mouth football plays. And Florida is here on this play. So right from the start, Pyburn gets a win, right? Pyburn strikes this block. He's 2 yards into the backfield. He's getting a win right here. He is controlling the gap they want to get to, and he's messing up the lead block. The lead blocker does not have the alley he wants to go into, so he just piles on. He says, I got to pile on and give my guy space, right? Knock Pyburn out of there, and it works, right? It's enough to get the job done. So again, the lead blocker, a fullback, that's why they're there. It gives you a chance to clean up any kind of gap control issue. If you're running a spread offense, you have no help. It's just a running back and the quarterback. If you win a one-on-one battle, you're dead. Not so much with the power scheme, right? The fullback cleans that up in this case. And Tennessee picks up a wildly asymmetric risk-reward first down. Not worth it, in my opinion. They're not going to get points out of this anyway. And again, I think Heupel would probably want that one back. 1st and 10, and here is perhaps why, of course, Heupel doesn't trust Nico. Florida, again, nothing different from Florida, right? I'm sure Tennessee practiced this all week long. But this is why you want to run a scheme that you know a team is struggling with, right? Tight front right here, overhang defenders. They're going to add on to the run if it's a run. If it's a pass, we're going to play the passing lanes. Let's focus on Sharif Denson, top of your screen. He is going to play this to absolute perfection. No play fake. No play fake at all here, so we can quickly recognize it's just a pass. And he's immediately going to whip his head around here off your screen and locate the receiver, right? Whip head off the screen there. Locate again. Check out this last peek right here, right? Peeking. Meanwhile, Nico is just staring down the place that he wants to go. Look at Nico. Open up. Staring at it, bouncing the feet, staring at it, bouncing the feet, staring at it, still staring at it. Now I'm throwing it. He never even sees Denson adjust to where that route is going. Now this is a nice cleanup by Florida. We saw earlier, hey, we missed an opportunity to get one of these. Well, Denson this time does it perfectly, and he only gets this because of the check right here, right? This is what makes this play work. He checks one more time as the underneath defender, make sure you are underneath and in the right place, and that allows him to then put the foot in the ground right here and stick it over into where the ball is actually going right there. That puts him in a lane. Nice, easy pick. Then we're off to the races, potentially changing the game with 1 minute and 17 seconds left, right? What a nice play from Florida, executing their game plan perfectly. There's Ham again, fired up, right? I like that Coach Ham brings the juice. I think Florida needs more juice in the sideline. You sort of got Eeyore Billy out there, but you've got Ham bringing the fire, right? Showing the interest, getting the boys fired up, as they should be. Great read by Denson. A nice week of practice versus Tennessee scheme paying off here. And Nico, the $2 million per year man, $8 million quarterback, continuing to ride the struggle bus here as he faces SEC competition. Here's your all-22 look. Not my circles, but the same concept here. I'm going to pause it for you when you see how well Denson is reading this. There's one look. Again, off the snap, one look. Locate the number 1 and 2. Drop back. You know it's a pass. Drop back. Okay, now let me check again because the receivers are basically at the stem of their routes right now. And look how well he times this. He times his look back right at where the stem of the routes would be, knowing on film Tennessee's going to break around 7 to 12 yards. And now I locate that, and I see he's coming over my head. I'm still looking at the quarterback's eyes. He's still looking over here. There's something he must like. And then I'm going to flow into the window. Notice the natural flow because he peaked last time right here. Right, let's watch him right here. He's going to peak this last right here, this last look, and he sees this action. Now this could be this, right? This could be this. He's not sure, but he knows it's definitely coming interiorly, and therefore he's going to read the eyes, get a nice look. Okay, there is probably a route coming over my head. I see the quarterback looking in this direction. I'm going to burst and take more of this, right? Gambling that's going to be an in-breaking route because Tennessee likes that. And I'm going to set myself up perfectly for this, which is a great thing because look at this. Here's Castell, right, falling on the ground. So in a different world, if Denson is just floating back and just being like a lazy dropper, if you will, and he just sits right here in a static zone without identifying where the receivers are, this ball probably goes right here and it's probably a touchdown, right? It's going to be 7 points because our safety, Castell, falls down right there. And again, you imagine if Denson's not there, probably a tutty. Not going to have to worry about that because Denson is there. But Nico, again, continues his struggles, and the Gators' defensive strategy pays off not just last year, but also this year with some slight modifications of this Tennessee team being even worse than last year in the passing game. 3rd and 3 now for Tennessee. A high leverage play in the third quarter as this game is hanging in the balance. They're going to motion the tight end over. Florida not playing man, so Tennessee now knows they have zone. Kind of curious to me they don't make another call here. You just have Denson on this side, no one else, and nobody is lined up over the tight end, right? So we made the motion. Florida's still in a bare front. No one is motioned. We're still staying on the weak side. Tight end is completely unguarded. Let's watch the post snap. Tight end will remain completely unguarded. So again, the goal pre-snap is there. This is a layup throw for 10, 15, 20 yards, whatever you want. But they're not looking there. It's not where they want to go. It's not the play. We're going to pump fake this vertical on the left. only to come back to our running back here. We're trying to get a crackback block, get the running back out on the edge, and see if he can't make something happen. And he's going to get on the ball here. Unfortunately for him, Sharif Denson, who we showed off at the start of this play, off your screen right here, is just watching, right? The reason you want to play off, he can play off some here. Let's rewind this. There he is. He's playing off a bit on 3rd and 3, right? Look how far off he is. Here's your first down marker. He's off because he can come down. He can stay flat-footed and come down on any in-breaking route at the line and make a play. If it's a pop route right here, he can make a play. He can make a play on the most likely route tree this guy might run, while also allowing himself to look at the quarterback and the play for Tennessee, right? If it's a quick hitter, he's looking in, he can rob it. And of course, if it goes somewhere else, he can make a play, which is what happens because this ball does go somewhere else. It comes right to the running back who slipped out, and bingo. Squirrel White misses an all-important block on Denson, and we're off to the races. If that block is had by Squirrel White and we don't win the one-on-one, that could be a very easy big play. So appreciate Denson's effort there. It's always important to recognize, of course, a one-on-one win. Because numerically, Tennessee had a number they wanted, right? They basically had 2-on-1. 2 versus Denson. They got what they wanted, but Denson beats the blocker and makes a tackle. Fantastic stuff there from him. It's hard to blame Florida's defense on this one because Tennessee's going to roll out left. And you know there's no way Florida ever sees that in practice. So understandable. That's why they're going to miss this one. Going to bring Nimrod in motion. We're going to actually have him stay low, right? Stay low, little eye candy. Let's occupy this with Castell. And then we're going to bring our over route from the backside right here, which is going to hit pay dirt and be wide open. As we roll our quarterback to the left. Again, I know it's a crazy scenario to do it, but we do it. Roll to the left. He's got a lot of options here as Castell actually is not covering Nimrod. We can see that Nimrod is open on Castell. So he's got this pass right here. He's got his deepest option too. He's not going to go to him. Instead, he'll take the easiest option, which is here. But the deep option was open earlier. Actually, right away as he rolled left and set. This play was open for a touchdown probably. But now this is really open here underneath. Nice, easy look. All coming off of the play action and the roll left. So Florida's going to bite up on this. Not enough time to come back. They lose track of this over. There's your play fake. We're going to lose track right here of this route, right? We just simply don't ID it. Nobody IDs it. Nobody looks for it. When that happens, you're in trouble. Roll left, set, stick the throw. Only not really a stick, right? You'd like to be a little lower, get your receiver in space. But Tennessee driving now and getting creative, using rollouts to their success. And I think they also, of course, use those heavy packages to their success. Probably two of the best things for Tennessee in this game were the rollout plays. And again, those heavier packages they utilize in short yardage situations. If you want to win big games, you have to win your one-on-ones. Florida's got the perfect scheme on here. Tennessee's just going to run the simplest of a little flat route here for the running back. And again, for Florida and for Tennessee, Florida's different than Tennessee, of course, on offense. Tennessee really struggling to throw the ball downfield, despite that being their mentality. They're just trying to get Nico some safe, easy throws. And of course, they were consistently trying to get matchups on Castell. They targeted him 5 times in this game. They probably should have targeted him 15 times, given how often Florida was putting him in coverage, given their scheme. But again, I think Florida was comfortable doing that based upon the fact that Tennessee was not completing passes down the field. And here's Castell with a perfect read. He just needs to make a tackle. He starts breaking down pretty early, as right here, it looks like he's already committed to making a tackle, despite the fact that he's still a good 3 yards away. And that's just going to be a pretty weak effort, right? You don't need to make a hero tackle here. You can break down a little more, slow things up if you want, and make sure you make this tackle to set up 3rd and long. Instead, you come flying in, you break down too early, you whiff, do little to stop him, and now he actually picks up almost a first down. So instead of 3rd and long in a 10-0 game, you give him 3rd and short. 4th and 1, Tennessee down 10-0, only down 2 scores. A field goal would make it 1 score, but they want to score a touchdown. Florida's going to counter this heavy package from Tennessee. Again, to me, one of the keys to the game was how effective Tennessee was in this package. Florida's going to go with a tight front still here. We're going to be inside the tackles, denying anything in this area of the football field. I think Tennessee's going to wisely counter with 2 tight ends off the ball here, and they're going to run an off tackle with 2 lead blockers. Nice design here. You're facing 2 less beefy players on the edge. You know that Florida, if they do their jobs, are going to go B gap, B gap, A gap, and sew up this area in here. And you should give your running back several options with which to pick up this very short first down. And last but not least, you got Nico under center. I think teams should all be going under center in certain parts of the game. I like that Tennessee chooses to be multiple here, puts a lot of pressure on the defense to cover a lot of different stuff, and of course, gives you a quarterback sneak option, which is one reason why Florida's in this tight front, right? You're threatening a lot with just this formation. You're threatening a lot of parts of the field with just this formation on a short run. Power can be great in these situations, and Tennessee is going to use this to their benefit with this off tackle right here. Let's roll the film. Quick, under center, downhill running back, 2 downhill tight ends. We get a block right away here. So we're sealing off the risk player. We're going to drive him out. So that's a win for Tennessee right there into 2 players. And now we got the train rolling here. So much so we're not even going to worry about blocking him. We feel like he's already out of the play. Watch that scenario there for Tennessee. They're going to let him go, which could be a mistake, right? If he can make a play. He does not. Does not make a play. It's Jason Marshall. Does not make the play. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, following our lead blockers all the way in. Look, football can be that simple sometimes. That's why power running is never going to go away from the game. There's a time and place for it. Tennessee used that to great advantage versus Florida in this particular football game. 4th and 1. Florida made him earn it. We're almost to the 4th quarter before Tennessee gets on the board, but now we have ourselves a ball game. After a DJ Lagway pick, Tennessee threatening now in the red zone. Florida's still going to stay doing what they're doing, right? We still have the tight front here. Got a 6, got a mint defense here. Still locking up here and here. Just 1 high and here. Castell pointing. Going to bring Bridges down in the box right here on this play. There he is. We're going to rotate that. So still just a single high, who's often also helping in run fit first before trying to get over here and play over top, right? By alignment, Florida's still trying to make sure they take away the in-breaking routes. In-breaking routes right here while also playing sound on the run. On top of that, you got to deal with the zone read. You got to make sure you stay on that. Nico's there, right? It's one thing to bottle up the inside, which Florida clearly has locked up here. That's a check mark. Now we've got Nico saying, hey, I think I can beat Gums, who's in good position. The read from Nico here is not that Gums is actually out of position per se. He didn't just dive in. He's not over here where you'd automatically pull it. But Nico decides, I'm going to call my own number here, and then Gums is going to run him down and make a fantastic tackle. I mean, that is absolutely great stuff from 3-4 there. Nice play on 2nd down and 8. He's going to ding himself up some, and that's going to put us on 3rd down. But a really nice job by Gums, a guy who hasn't quite been able to duplicate his success versus inferior teams, but he's got a high motor, and he makes a great play right there. I know I sound like a broken record here, but on 3rd down and 7, the benefit again of an offense like Tennessee spreading teams wide like this is you get these matchups. This is Bridges, who's played corner and safety, versus Square White, one of their best receivers. It's a matchup you live for, right? In the NFL, you feast on these kind of matchups. And Square White's going to feast right here, just killing Bridges with a super nice whip-in route. That's probably going to be 6, if not for Shamar James, who's going to get in the face of Nico. And Nico, who still should make this throw, doesn't make it. Again, Nico really holding Tennessee back right now. $2 million a year for a guy you've never seen play in this ranks. Backup's a walk-on from UCF. 3rd quarterback's a freshman, 4-star. The NIL is interesting. They're spending probably anywhere from 15 to 20% of their entire NIL budget per year on Nico. That's a pretty high salary cap, if you will, per team budget, right? There is no cap, of course, but you get the idea. So the rub route concept here is on for Tennessee. Bottom of your screen. Rub route concept here for Tennessee on. Trying to confuse this. Really nice design. This is a really nice design because if you are Bridges, you think this rub route is for you so they can get him sprung here or maybe even here. And that's really well designed by Tennessee because what he really wants to do is turn all the way around. And that is exactly what you do. A nice piece of game theory here or leveling. Hey, if you're Bridges, you're a veteran corner, you've seen this rub. Most of the time, it's going to rub so that they can try to get this guy out here. It's 3rd and 7, get onto the sticks. Bridges is going to eat that. Understandable. It's a good play design. That's what you want to see on film in general on offense. And now Nico has a clean pocket minus Shamar, who's gotten home, right? So Shamar is going to get home right here. Florida's going to bring 5, going to beat the running back, get in the face of Nico. And again, Nico should still not have a problem making this throw. Super easy throw. It's about a 10-yard throw. Total air. Not a problem, but he's going to just geek this ball. And that ball's nowhere close to Squirrel. And again, I think if Squirrel catches this, he's probably going to score, right? But either way, Florida dodges another bullet on a really good play design. I don't fault Bridges there. That is a very tough cover. That's a structural benefit of Tennessee's offense, but they're not hitting it this year. On broken record, they're not hitting that this year. It's why they're not dangerous, but the spacing is there. It's ripe for the opportunity simply by alignment, and obviously if you have good slot receivers who are quick, they're going to get favorable matchups. But Tennessee is not hitting them. Florida hangs on here, forces a field goal. Things will be tied up 10-10. 3rd and 8 here, 10-10, fourth quarter. Florida showing pressure. Then check out how aggressively Florida's going to play this, essentially going cover 0 again. Castell's going to come into run fit, and we're content to go 2x2 and 2x2 there. Old Tennessee with Hooker, you're dead. You are giving up a touchdown or a big play. Last year and this year, you're probably going to be just fine, and Florida knows this, and I like that they are playing the tendency, right? If you play Tennessee this year, you're going to have to live with the fact that if Nico actually hits these downfield passes, you're just going to lose. But with the way that Heupel's calling these games very conservatively, lots of running plays, you've got to lean into that and stop what they want to do most likely. Florida brings the all-out blitz here. We have not seen Florida do this often. They're going to do it here, and Nico is going to open up, and Florida, again, this is too easy, right? These route combos in this scenario, too easy. We're bringing the heat. Where are the better hot routes? We're still dancing. Nothing has happened yet, and then there is our predictable slant route. There is space here. Again, it's a good matchup for them. There is space here, but Nico, as Nico does, is already out. No need for him to be out, right? He's held up. Hang in there, Nico. Plant your right foot. Wait for this to open. There's your guy. Now you can choose to make a throw or not. But Nico's already predetermined before the natural read point of this to get out of there. He's uncomfortable. He's going to turn the corner. And there's Cameron James with another fantastic tackle. Look, it's really encouraging for me, who's watched this on film a lot. This is not perfect by Cameron James. Ideally, he would have controlled this a little bit better, but you can see that he's here trying to control and stay outside. He gets a little bit, just a tiny bit sucked in right here, but frees himself. Really, really, really important to do this. And this is the best game I've seen on film in the 3 years that I've been reviewing Florida's defense, where their ends have consistently stayed with edge control and have made multiple of these tackles. If he's not there, that's going to be a first down, but he is there. Nico's going to be short. He's going to step out of bounds, and that is going to lead to fourth down and a punt, keeping the score at 10-10. So Florida really showing great defensive line control, understanding that you have to play as a unit, and then making plays out on the perimeter when they have to. 2nd and 4, the old guard tackle counter here is going to hit motion from the tight end. Florida going to get set. Again, still, right? Still here. This time, 2 stood-up defenders on the end, right? Little offset here, not in a tight formation like we've been seeing, where there'd be a defender lined up here, hand in the ground on the inside. Florida not playing that way on this one. Setting up instead a little bit outside. We're not inside the tackle. We're a little bit outside the tackle as Gums. Is that on purpose? Probably because we're in this mint front, right? No overhang defender. They're here. They're further off. We're playing 6 in the box instead of 5 as Tennessee's heavier. So 6 instead of 5. And Tennessee is going to crease Florida here with the guard tackle counter. So here we go right away. Guard tackle. This time you see no defensive tackle penetration like we saw before. We're not going to break this train up. The slow-moving train is starting to get moving, and nothing is there to derail them, so to speak. Not good. And then when it comes to gap fill, we got to strike one of these first blockers and muddy this up so we can kick it out to our help defender here. That's going to be Bridges. None of that's going to happen. Look, they have buried Florida right here. They've buried Florida on the inside. Now they have 2 pullers and 1 defender. This is a dream on offense. Why you run the guard tackle counter. You hope for moments just like this. And then, of course, your guard whiffs, as college linemen will do. Whiffs right there. He did, however, accomplish his mission of widening out Bridges. Bridges now wider. Cannot make this tackle. Tries to go for the shoestring tackle on 2nd and 4 right there. Just can't quite make it because he was forced to widen out by, of course, the guard. He's going to kick him out, and now I've got the tackle running free, 53. This is what you live for as a tackle, right? If you want to run block, you live for this stuff. You're running free out here. You're into the secondary where the small guys are, and you are headhunting. This is your moment You're living for it. You're looking for anyone to hit, right? Head on a swivel. Who can I hit? And you're like, oh, Castell, that's great because he doesn't want contact anyway. I can probably just reach towards him and he's going to let me have that. And you can kind of see Castell's like, dang it, man, I'm so frustrated with this stuff. I'm just going to come chill back here. Meanwhile, you get Devin Moore, comes in trying to make a tackle here at the end. Can't do it. The GT counter strikes pay dirt. Tennessee's going to go up 17-10. That's 2 rushing touchdowns on 2 power plays. So again, Tennessee's power plays paying dividends in this game. Haven't got to call his name much in this game, which is the highest compliment to Jason Marshall, especially facing Tennessee's receivers and what their scheme likes to do. He was absolutely shut down. Check out the coverage here on Nimrod, who is going to be one of the fastest receivers in college football. And Marshall's going to stay right with him despite not getting any safety help underneath, which he should have in the middle of the field. He's not going to have it. He's going to basically hero play this himself. There's the release. Now you can see Florida's going to exchange this. Nimrod here, the 2 receiver and the 1. If the 1 breaks to the inside, Marshall's going to recover and take all of 2 vertical. Right? Let me rewind that for you here. Nimrod at the 2. If 1 releases underneath, goes inside, then Marshall's responsible for all of 2 vertical. So a little pattern match pass off right there. We've effectively passed it off. Now here's Bridges. Now here's Marshall. Now they're trying to run Nimrod here over the top. We're going to roll out again to the right, keep Castell occupied. Castell not at all observing what's happening over here. I can never tell you your roles. We're not in a split safety look, not a true split safety look here. So in theory, if he is the only field safety or free safety, he should be reading the entire field. It's possible Florida's not doing that here. My bet is that's what's supposed to be happening. But he's keeping his eyes just in the backfield. Exactly what Tennessee wants. The second time they've hit Castell with this exact look. First time rolling left, now we're rolling right. Same exact thing. They probably could have run this 15 times in this game. Thankfully, they did not. And this time they targeted the wrong guy. So there's Nico, all day to throw, let one go. And look at this coverage. Again, ideally, Castell reads this, gets over top of it, and he's there. I can't say for sure if he's supposed to be there. I want to keep saying that. But most likely in that scenario, he should be there. But Marshall is stride for stride on a deep over route with one of the fastest players in college football. He gets a slight bit of contact there. That ball again is overthrown. Even versus just air, he's not going to get there. So, Nico is doing a great job not giving his receivers a chance to catch the football. But Marshall, with a sensational play here, to catch all the way back up to this from the start. Again, he switches from the 1 to the 2, runs on top to the outside. They're rolling over to get max leverage, and Marshall is right there stride for stride, resists the temptation to hook the arm, and instead gets a quality stop. So Jason Marshall, from last year to this year, this is the guy we hoped he would be and thought he could be, and he's doing it. And it's really rewarding to talk so positively about Jason Marshall in this year's film review because last year was not the case. And good for him because the film never lies, and the film's showing good stuff for Marshall. 17-10 Tennessee, 2nd and 10. The film has not been kind to Castell, who spent a lot of his game in these kind of situations where Tennessee, they attacked him 5 times, like we said, could have been 10. He's going to answer the bell here versus Nimrod. And look, if the film is good, you're going to get praise. That's how it works, right? It's not about making any one player feel good or bad or indifferent. It's about what the film says, and there it is. The film says here, that's a good play. We saw earlier that was given up very easily by Castell. This time he recognizes they've already hit me with this play multiple times. They are targeting me seemingly every play. Roll out right, target him again. He's there to answer the bell and swat that ball away on 2nd down and 10. Nice play there, Castell. That's what we want to see. More of you breaking on balls, making aggressive plays rather than allowing balls to be caught. 8 minutes to go, 3rd and 10 for Tennessee. This play I can best categorize as both a no faith in Nico and a no faith in DJ, or perhaps maybe more faith in Tennessee's defense play call here. And Florida's defense will take it. Again, 3rd down and 10. Look how Florida's going to play this. Castell's going to come into the box. Here we go, into the box. Max play run. 2-on-2 up top. 2-on-2 up top. No help over there. There it is. I love this. This is what good defense looks like. Play your opponent's tendencies. Don't play the structure of the offense. Don't say, man, I'm uncomfortable with this. This is not going to be good. If they're not doing it, they don't want to do it. Make them do what they don't want to do. Great work here tactically. Handoff here. Nothenberger for yet again popping on film. 33. Nice game there, right? 33's on twice. You got to love that on film review. Brian Taylor Jr. coming out of JUCO, making plays. Another big tackle, setting up a 4th down for Tennessee. And I love this shirt. You're killing me, Vols. You're killing me, Smalls. The inspiration for Coach Ham. There he is. Just imagine him not wearing Tennessee stuff, but resemblance to Coach Ham. So being in this game, as I was at the stadium, Tennessee fans are pretty fired up. At this point in time, they were ravenously fired up, even though they're winning, because they're sick of all, like this guy is, all the run calls. They don't want to see that stuff either. They feel like, hey, we had Hendon Hooker, we're bombing the ball, we're supposed to be a top 10 team, and now we refuse to pass the football, and we're just hoping time runs out. 3rd and 10, 2 straight runs from Tennessee. Time is getting late. Do they run again here? Florida with all 3 timeouts. We saw them do it before. No. In this case, they're going to take a shot, but Devin Moore is ready to answer the call. Matched up one-on-one out here. Again, no safety help. We're feeding into the box here. Playing max against the run, right? We're just going to play 1, 2, 3, 4 against the pass. 4v3. Tennessee wide splits. Entire field to go. Florida feels comfortable. 2 excellent corners in the SEC. And this is why, of course, Nico is a 5-star. Look at this throw, arm strength-wise. He's on the 2-yard line. He's going to sling this thing from the far hash, basically 50 yards down the field. This is a good ball, right? 50 yards down the field on a dime. That's why they have high hopes for him. But so far, his accuracy is leaving things wanting, as is his ability to read the field. He is a redshirt freshman. He's got a future ahead of him, but so far, not so good. Great work by Devin Moore. We're going to get a better angle of this. His hand right in between the catch point, then finish by pushing out of bounds and making the tackle. Otherwise, this would have changed the game for Tennessee and flipped the field. Not what happens. Devin Moore's right there. It's a really good piece of defense. It seemed like he was hurt most of the game, playing through some sort of ailment. Still comes up big there. Quietly walks off on the sideline. But this is textbook technique from Devin Moore. Look at the hand placement right here. Get the hand up into the chest, into the catch radius, right? So you get a chance to knock this ball out. You can see Devin Moore right there. He's got that glove right in the catch radius. And now push him and ride him out of bounds, right? Push him out of bounds. Get him to the sideline. And oh, so close. Oh, so close there for Tennessee. But Devin Moore with really, really good coverage. Tennessee's play call there goes conservative bomb. It's a great ball, one of the best balls from Nico all day long. But Devin Moore there to answer the bell and to give Florida a chance to get the football back. Florida dodged several bullets in this game. Here's another one, even though Florida ties things up at 17-17 after DJ Dimes drops an absolute dot into the end zone for a touchdown. There's 20 seconds left. Tennessee getting aggressive now, though, right? Playing 3-by-1 out here, running back in, trying to get into field goal range. A field goal will win it for them, and they are going to have the look they want right here. Everything they want to the inside. Simple, easy pitch and catch, probably for 20, maybe more yards, and they're just going to miss it. Self-inflicted wound. Sapp's going to get a little pressure there, which is going to get the credit. I think you give Sapp the credit here for disturbing this play as he absolutely cooks the left tackle. Let's watch Sapp here cook the left tackle, and good thing he did. Inside step to the outside. Here's Sapp right here. Inside step to the outside, right? Step inside, beat him to the outside with a speed rush. If he doesn't get there, this could end poorly. Nico steps up, messes up his timing. And again, if I'm coaching Nico, a lot of pumps. I don't like his footwork. Really bouncy in here. A lot of pumping. It just increases the chance that you miss these throws. Pocket crumbles a little bit around him, but I think Sapp gets the credit there, and he misses a wide open receiver again. Now look, in this scenario, he catches this ball running right here. He's head up on Castell. I think we know how that probably ends for Florida, right? Could be 6, honestly, but at the very least, with about 15 or 14 seconds left, they're going to be somewhere in this area. Thankfully, Sapp gets there in time. Nico makes an errant throw, and that leads to overtime. In overtime, Tennessee now just needing a field goal elects to run their heavy personnel out there. It's a good decision by Tennessee. Florida had the least success on a play-by-play basis versus this personnel grouping. Tennessee used it once in the first half, and then again they used it tactically on various plays. But we're not going to run what you would consider to be Tennessee's typical passing offense. We are going to go to their typical power offense, still with very wide splits. Clear these players out of the way, and let's play 9-on-9 right in here. Right, 9-on-9 right in here. You cannot help. We're not going to lie to any corner blitzing, any run fitting. You're just going to play 9-on-9 on 2nd down and 7. And Tennessee's going to win this battle. Just a straight up inside zone play. They win off the ball. Again, Florida, of course, I think dejected after missing that field goal. You tend to see this in college overtimes, especially. Not the same level, perhaps, of energy as they try to match Tennessee, now feeling like they're playing downhill already, perhaps with the wind at their back for a win. But that's going to wind up being a big first down right there, and now you kind of feel like it's inevitable. Florida's going to take this L. Tennessee feels it. Their fans feel it, right? Doesn't feel great for Florida here. 1st and 10. Stay the quo here, right? Florida going to put 5, a bare front here, still very aggressive versus the run. Tennessee's going to stay in that power package. And why not? Except, you got to credit Tennessee here, recognizing Moore is way off on this play, right? Little adjustment here. Moore's way off. Way off right here. It's going to be the only catch for one of Tennessee's best receivers in the entire game, but Moore's playing back. I'm not really sure why Moore's playing back here. I think, for me, you might as well get up in here. Dare them to throw a touchdown on you. It's your only real chance at probably turning them over. He's off. He's soft. Nice call here by Tennessee. You're going to pick up another first down. And now certainly the end is near for Florida, despite being the better team for the majority of this football game. You can feel the clock is running out. It's about to strike midnight. The decisions made on offense are going to doom Florida. The defense, with their outstanding effort, is not going to be able to get it done. This right here is a touchdown. If not for the whistle that gets blown first right there. Gets blown, not a touchdown, thankfully. He does fight his way through. And the next play, we're going to get a touchdown here. Again, what does Tennessee go back to finish it off, right? The old tried and true. Let's go power. Let's see how Florida counters. Florida, again, playing inside the tackles here, worrying about a Nico sneak, lining up in here. This time, over-manning the edges, right? Trying to make sure they've got enough on the line in case they want to go off tackle. With the power package, Tennessee is going to elect then to do the same exact play. And why not, right? This play worked last time. Florida has more defenders here. Credit Florida. They're lining up. They're preparing for it. They're putting the bodies on the line. But Tennessee says, look, you stop it once. See if you can stop it twice. I'm going to go right back to it. They do, and it's a walk-in touchdown. There's always a place for power football. All of you know how much I love passing the football. I also love winning, and I love diversity of offensive plays. And power football, if Tennessee was without a power football game in this game, despite Florida's own challenges with regards to coaching and play calling on offense, Florida still wins this game. By and large, the power running game of Tennessee made the difference. Florida unable to run it themselves in these short yardage situations doomed them, and this result is what it is. All in all, Florida's defense had an excellent day at the office. Yes, they dodged some bullets. You're going to have to. They did it by design. They attacked, I think, the right features of Tennessee, and I think now Arkansas and Florida have put out what I would call the meta game plan for Tennessee. I'll be curious to see what Alabama does against them. And unless Nico sort of wakes up this week and finds a way, of course, to pass the ball completely downfield, the game plan is here for this. And Florida executed it very well, much like last year. Unlike last year, Florida does not come out with a W. But the players played full-out effort for all 60-plus minutes of this game. Gave everything they had, played with good discipline, played sound football, put a good product on this film review, and it's a bummer they came out on the wrong end of it. But at least on the film review side, you love to see quality stuff from the majority of the players on the majority of the snaps. That is what leads to success in the long run. I don't think this coaching staff is going to be here for the long run, but for each one of these players, they're getting better as players. And that's, of course, the primary goal of coaching in general, and it's how you win in the long run. Make your already talented players better. It's a recipe for success. That's going to do it for me and for this episode. As always, I'm James DiVirgilio, the host of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'll be back with you next week after the Kentucky game. Go Gators.